Hey, big shout out to Mr. JR Star 3 for the raid. Guys, just give us a minute here and we'll be ready to go.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. This will be episode number 90. We got a lot of things to talk about. Hard Mode Faction Wars came out. We got a Lydia Soul Chase event for a 6-star, but the point threshold is kind of out there. And there's some other things that are on the chopping block to discuss today. But before we get too far into today's podcast, let's introduce my co-hosts for the podcast. In the top green box above me, we've got a endgame low spend perspective given to us by no one else but Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing awesome. I hate not having the podcast on the weekend, so we missed yesterday or last time. It was Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everyone. But it is sad not having the podcast. Good to be here. I did actually have some luck. I pulled 30 voids, didn't get any void luck, but pulled 6 remnants and hit there. We actually got a Commodus, so I was super hyped about
snap.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, congrats,
Wow.
man.
Yes. So live arena is going to be a lot more fun, and yeah, excited to mess around with them.
Nice. So wait, you've been saving 6 for the last 3 months. How long do you save? Because I get those suckers and I pull them right away.
Yeah, so I try to save them for like Fusion Champion chases, but last Fusion there wasn't a champion chase, so I kind of like extended them for a little bit longer than I usually do. But yeah, I like to save them for those.
How many mythicals have you gotten out of the remnant so far?
That was my first one.
That was your first one. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm ahead of the game because I got my Allahs from that. I've got my dwarf only from it, and my Nias all from 3. All from
What?
that I've
That's
gotten.
nice.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Gotten
Chat-
zero, brother. I've gotten
Streamer
zero.
luck.
Soon-
Streamer
soon,
luck.
guys,
Yeah,
still.
Zero Brew has got
Zero.
zero luck.
Soon,
Yeah,
guys. Mine was
zero.
my first one. I pulled a bunch, so it's
I'm
coming.
curious though, chat. Have you guys pulled a mythical out of your remnants? And if so, which one has it been? While we look for some of those responses, let's go to our live arena specialist, our top 100, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. The free-to-play account, I just pulled a random 10 pop because of 2x Void, and I got a Gurgo. Pretty solid, I think, for the free-to-play account. I was actually pretty fired up about that.
Very nice.
So yeah, I don't know, random luck because I just pulled an Incensa like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So like
It's nice.
not even near Mercy or nothing. Yeah. So
Very
free to play,
nice.
get piling up the voids, man. Free to play, piling up the voids.
Very nice, very nice. Next up, giving some brotherly love right here. Gotta give him a hug, Mr. JR Star 3. Jay, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just been enjoying the game. Doing the Ishiyama fusion, fragment summon, and I just been playing lots of live arena, trying to get myself higher up. I finally got to 1,000. That's like a personal record for me. And I thought about going for this Lydia, but it's a little too much. It's gonna be crazy. So I was like, it would have been nicer, easier way to get like a Titan event or something. But overall, just enjoying the game and excited to see what we're gonna talk about today.
I agree. I think Titan event for the Lydia, even if it was just a 5-star, would have been better. But we'll dive into that in just a little bit there. Hey, we've got a special guest today joining us. We got Maverick from Top Gun over in the white. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's actually Zero Brew. Zero, what's going on,
wait.
brother? How are you?
I thought you were going to
just
our
Zero.
special guest.
Well, you
What's
got the
going on,
shades
everyone? Yeah, I know. I'm switching it up. I need a little something. Mr. Dab Master himself. What's going on? Great week. Positives and negatives on everything. In terms of like the Ishiyama soul and stuff like that. So hopefully we talk about a little bit about that tonight. But yeah, I did like PJ. Yeah, they haven't had champ chases in a minute, and I had 4 remnants saved up, and you're guaranteed 250 points a pop in a champ chase, right? Because you're guaranteed at least an epic out of those, and if you get a void epic, it's 350, and of course if you get a mythical, it's 1,000. But we had 4, that was 1,000 points. So I pulled Empress, and I pulled Lamassu, who I'd just been holding on to, and then we pulled like 2 voids and ancient. And then those 4 remnants didn't get anything, so I'm not as cool as PJ getting a hit. Never gotten a mythical out of the remnants, but that's cool for Champ Chase. And we got the shards, and Ishiyama's now in the vault to be pulled at some point. But if I don't get his soul, I ain't pulling him anytime soon.
All right. Last but not least, we got the guy who said, you know what? Screw you, Raid. I'm taking the next month off. You're not getting my 5 or 10 or 20 grand a month that I play because you can't give me any speed or just any good RNG except for a cock. But we got ourselves Mr. Beck. Beck, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Yeah, well, basically, you just summarized my entire existence in this game over the last few weeks. So, for the people that don't know, I'm big. I actually used to stream this game, and I decided to take a break for 3 weeks to trigger the revival pass, because I kind of saw this shit show coming. Can I say that?
Yes.
With
we're fine.
with faction wars. And
that was smart. You saw that. Yeah, good move.
Yeah, and then basically I wanted to have the option to open all the factions once I want to do that. Plus, I didn't have a reviver besides 3 shield knots in the Sylvan faction. So, yeah. Last week, I basically finished the entire Live Arena season in 6 days. And I'm incredibly tilted, and I wish I did not
Wow.
return to the game. So, yeah.
I gotta ask. I know we're gonna have a separate discussion on this, but how did you feel not playing Raid for the 3 weeks? Was it relaxing? Was it stressful? Like, am I missing out on something? Or
You can clearly see that this game has a lot of tricks up its sleeves to make it part of your daily life and integrate it with what it is that you're trying to do. So for me, it was also like a good thing because there was a podcast where we also spoke about addiction and stuff.
Mhm.
And for me, it was also a good way to see, hey, am I actually addicted to this game? Can I just walk away whenever I want? Can I not? And I have to say, the first few days, there really is a kickback where you're like, hey, what am I going to do with all this time that I have? And then, like, during the live arena time slots, I really had this urge to log in and play live arena, even though I wasn't playing the game anymore. So eventually this faded away, and yeah, I managed to do it, and then it was like, hey, the what's it called, revival pass triggered, so well, time to go back. So yeah.
do they send you like an email like saying, "Hey, you qualify for the revival path. Come back, spend some
No.
money on us."
No, it's crazy because the day I hit the 3 week not logged in, so 21 days, I emailed Plarium and I also asked you, because if you look online, there's like a lot of people with varying opinions about when the revival pass is triggered. Some say it's 3 weeks, some say it's 4 weeks, some say it's longer, some say they don't get it. So it's really difficult to find information about this on the internet. And I emailed Plarium, and Plarium said, hey, this is internal information that we cannot share. And when I asked you, you said it's 21 days.
Yep.
And I knew my account was on 21 days, and I was like, Blazing wouldn't lie to me. And Blazing was correct. So up your ass, Plarium.
It's actually it's 3 weeks because I've tested it on a couple of accounts. I tested it for 2 weeks. It did hit. I tested it for 3 weeks. It was on multiple accounts. All right. And while
Just in
we
nick of
get-
time.
Yeah, just right there. While we get things ready, Ken has decided to join us, so I'll get things fixed out while we're doing that. But let's talk a little bit real quick while Ken gets situated here. This champ chase with the soul hidden behind it. Now we all know that I am not a fan of this. Although this one seems pretty obtainable at 14K, but I'm always a big fan of putting the souls out there because they're so important to everybody, especially if this guy's a nuker, right? And I think Zero Brew was the one that sent me a message. It was like, hey, this guy literally has to be on the chopping block. Like, we got to discuss this because he is, he's a nuker. Without this, we need the 4-star. Like, it's going to be absolute doo-doo for us. So let's start off. Let's go to Bick first because I haven't heard his lovely voice in a while. So, Bick, what are your feelings on this, man? Like, how would you? I guess what's your message to Plarium?
Well, if you want my message to Plarium, I think my message to Plarium is they need to watch out with what they're doing, because for the last weeks, I've only been seeing people complain about this game, and it's in an upward trend. And for a certain period of time, it felt like they were going in the right direction, and then suddenly they fall back into bad habits. And so I'm not really surprised. At the same time, I think everyone who did this fusion, if you don't have like any other nukers in this faction, then I get you. But I feel like this fusion was an easy skip. So I'm not too bothered by it, because I don't really value this champion very highly. But I do think that the community needs to do a better job at signaling to Plarium, hey, things are not okay with the game, and not go for this stuff.
Okay. While we keep going. Let me bring in Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what's going on? How have you been, sir?
Hello guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was outside, so I'm here now.
touching
What
grass.
did I
Touching
miss? How you guys
grass?
doing? I miss you guys. Welcome.
Outside?
Yep, I was.
What?
I touched lots of grass today, so I'm sorry.
Shame.
Yeah.
Ken, what are your thoughts on this, man? Champ Chase locking the 5-star soul behind it.
I mean, they're also going to do that with the Lydia, right? On the Monday, I believe.
Lydia,
Champion training.
Yeah, champion training, which is a little bit easier, but yeah, I totally get you on that one too.
Bro, it's a number one. It's a number one. It's not easier. Like, okay, let's say you are facing the crypto. Your tournament has a crypto. Easy?
Yeah,
Easy for him.
I mean, he probably have a 6 Lydia
I can
already.
take him. I can take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it depends on what kind of backing I have from MX. I might be able to take them. Zero.
Bro, souls are huge. I mean,
Yep.
they are huge. But on the bright side, getting champion is harder than the soul, guys. Because getting champion, you need to be lucky, right? You need to be a shard. This is a fusion champion, so if you decide to go for the fusion, you are going to wave him. I mean, the point I'm trying to say that, like, you can purchase the soul slowly. I know it's going to take lots of the time and lots of essence, but still possible. I am more hating if they are, like, let's say there's a champion chest right now for the Odin, for the Queen. They are more trigger me, bro. They are more trigger me. Because people can get them because it's a champion. Like, let's say you are facing Odin 0-star or the 6-star. Are you going to see like noticeable difference? No.
Okay, so
And
you're
that's
more.
that's more
affected-
pay to win.
So you're
because
more
you
affected
can-
on the champion themselves as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
the soul. Okay, I can see that
Exactly.
depending on the champion. I can definitely see that. You know, like the Noragari Archer, I went all
Yeah,
in on
obviously
that one.
depends on the champion. Yeah, same for the soul. Like this champion soul, like the big set. I mean, I don't think the champion is good. So soul of him also doesn't give me any benefit, to be honest. So I really don't care. It's a number one or whatever, you know.
Okay. Zero Brew, what about you, man?
Yeah, so again, I was on the fence for going for this one, but I just skipped the last one, and but then started reading this kit more and more, and even dropped a video on it. Was like, oh well, it's funny with the Norog buff, different story. But with like
Not a
Embers and stuff, yeah. But like this dude ramps up his damage over time with his passive, and so I was like, okay. And I know we've talked about that and stuff, but it just boils down to this guy is a nuker, right? He's an HP based nuker. And without being able to get his soul, he's worthless, right? So HP nukers absolutely needs that 4-star. Like you can sometimes get by with attack and all that, but it's really just a broader thing in the game. They've introduced so much power creep so quickly with, you know, Ascension and now the relics and then the little gemstones and then all this other stuff to hide it behind. Hey, 1 out of 100 can get this is pretty crappy in my opinion. And if it is a nuker, if you don't get the 4-star, it's kind of worthless. So I'm a little upset about that. And then of course, yeah, they haven't done Champ Chase in a long time. They're like, oh, we haven't done Champ Chase. I know how we get people to participate, or at least 3 or 4 people to participate all the way through this thing. We'll throw the soul in this thing and be done with it. Now they are giving us, you know, the next thing, the Lydia thing, which is cool, and that's going to be the
I don't know
placeholder.
if that's a give.
Well, no, I'm sorry. But I'm saying it's the placeholder for, you know, doing, you know, a Titan event or something like that. And that's,
maybe
we'll get into those details. But I'm just saying it's pretty crappy. I'm very upset about it. And this guy is going to sit in your vault. I know a lot of people skipped him for that. But yeah, if you don't get that 4-star soul, and again, 5-star really for him because you get that extra accuracy too. But I'm very upset.
Well, not just that, but like some of the requirements moving into hard mode faction wars, right? You get a damage increase and a damage decrease taken based on the blessings, just like you do in hard mode dungeons. And then the stat requirements themselves are so much higher, where it makes it even more challenging without empowerments. Even though, you know, you might be somebody like me who's definitely worked on your Great Hall for faction wars. But the stat requirements are still that high. I think, what is it, like almost 500 accuracy
Yeah.
and resistance is what I think I heard in some case. So, you know, locking the soul behind this, I've hated it. And it's really a shitty situation. I think it's, if I had to pick the lesser of the two evils, I would always say that a champ training would be a better way for me to see this, because it allows you more resources if you've saved up, as opposed to just having to, you know, wail out who's got the more shards. But I'm interested to see.
Yeah, hold on. Can I jump in real fast just to time on that? So I want to address what Kenpachi said. Yeah, you can earn this. And that's a valid point too. But the problem is exactly what you're saying. They've added so much to the game where you almost have to have the souls now to be able to be competitive in all these different areas. And you can earn this. But the problem is a champ like this is on the fence being halfway decent or not, right? And so you're never going to take this. You're never going to invest in your very minimal resources to buy a soul on this guy over anybody else, right? So that, yes, you can earn it, but are you going to earn it for this champion? No. So this soul specifically for this dude, to make him even vault, to get out of the vault, you have to have this soul, and you're never going to invest in the soul for this guy. Does that make sense?
I agree. Yeah, I think no matter what you need for at this point in age where we've been playing with everything that's been introduced, if you don't have a soul, the champ isn't really worth it, because you get so much more benefit, whether it's the damage boost, the damage decrease, or the stat boost themselves. I mean, if you got a 6-star champion and you're running Crushing Rend on him, obviously that's going to be a hell of a lot better if you're, I would honestly take an epic champion with a 6-star Crushing Rend over a legendary champion that doesn't have anything, because we get the, extra boost for the damage.
And I'm going to ask Bick for something. I know I've cut in on you now twice. I apologize. I'll shut up the rest of the podcast. Yeah, I know. But Bick, I would love to figure out number-wise, because you're the numbers guy, right? I would love to know, because even if you don't get the 1-star soul, so you're missing out the 7,500 HP, right? He's HP-based snooker. How much damage over time if you ramp up with his passive and get the extra 30% HP and that crit damage of, 38 crit damage? I want to know numbers-wise what the damage would be with the soul and without the soul. And literally, you're probably nerfing this dude by like 40% of his output.
Like, is that like based on the HP alone then, or also with like a crushing rent and stuff?
I mean, all that too, right? Yeah. So without the whatever blessing you to put on Heaven's Caster, whatever, that HP, you're nerfing the HP scaling on his passive, and you're missing out the 38 crit damage. I would love to know those numbers. All right, I'll let Blazin take back control of this thing. I'm going to shut up.
All right. And I have to agree here with Darn. He's, where he's like, it's not a new thing for them. At this point, you've learned to expect this. So it's either you prepare and actually, compete in this, or you just kind of ignore it and walk away and do something else. But Gestal, your thoughts on this?
Oh, what was the original question again?
The champ chase with the soul being
the soul.
I know Zero just talks and talks and talks.
Zero on all these tangents, bro. I was like, man, I hope he repeats it. Yeah, I actually remember you bringing this up when they did it last time, and kind of
Stork, I think.
More of a warning, like I hope it doesn't move this direction, and I kind of blew it off. I think, I guess my feeling is they don't have to give us a soul, right? Like it's not the champ. Like they had been given the souls, and they've been and I'm not trying to take player inside here at all. But I feel like when they do the champ and then the Titan event back to back, yes, it's a lot, but at least it's a chance if you really want to go for the champ and the soul. I kind of like that setup, because then you got to pick and choose what champs you really want to go for. You don't just go for all the fusions, and that's kind of been my mentality here. I've actually taken the last 2 off, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to save up so I have plenty to do both if it comes up. And they've kind of now, they haven't done it here, which again, I didn't go for the champs, so like Vic said, it doesn't really bother me. but it would bother me if I did go for him. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like again, like I don't feel like they have to give us a soul, right? Like that was kind of something they just introduced at one point. They weren't doing that like initially at all, especially initially when they started the souls, like the whole blessing thing. So I don't know. I prefer the other. I prefer the other way. I prefer you have a legit. Everyone has a legit chance at it.
Okay.
I don't like this way, but my guess is they're doing it because something else is coming, and they need to like. They just need like a way to kind of speed it out and just kind of get it over with instead of doing the whole like 2-week Titan event. That's what I feel like. Like this feels like rushed to me. Like, we'll give them a chance for it. Not a lot of people really went for it, so we're not going to do a Titan event. Let's move on to our next thing.
Well,
Maybe
I
that's
guess
what's going on.
I guess I want to ask the community this question. So, chat, you guys let me know if this is the way that they continue to do the souls for the fusions. Will this discourage you from doing any fusions down the line? Because if it's you have to win the champ chase or the tournament, would it even be worse to put all the work and effort to do the fusion, even though it's quote unquote a free legendary champion that we can get? If you can't get the soul from them. Go ahead.
I mean, if it's Armands,
add,
you're going for Armands, right?
Yes.
Like, I think it's more champ-based than blessing-based, but I see what you're saying.
Can I add something on top of this?
Go ahead.
We had a very, very terrible experience, I think, as community when they released Queen of Hearts. Because basically, they did it during the Alice event, right? She was one of the Alice champions back when we could get Cat's Gaze. And obviously, people were gunning for Queen of Hearts. It was a Void Legendary. It was clear that this champion was going to be viable in the current meta in PvP. Outside of PvP, she might also have other uses because she does bring an ally attack. Hello, Fire Knight. So they did a tournament for Champion Chase, and there were relic fragments in this tournament as well to be won. And the relic fragment the relic fragments they were guaranteed. And people went so incredibly hard on this tournament, and the preparation and stuff to be able to deal with all the people trying to last minute snipe was so bad that basically the service went offline.
Yeah.
And for example, I missed out on relic fragments. I did not get those relic fragments because I could not get in the game.
Oh,
Wow.
So after that tournament, so now you had like a bunch of people who had Queen, and I would have won it, by the way, because one of my groups, the highest guy, was like 3,000 points on my alt account. And on the main account, I'm going to destroy that group regardless of what they put in, because I'm just going to keep swiping until I win. So I would have won both, but now I don't have either. And not because of the tournament or whatever, but because of Plarium's lack of commitment to their servers. Now, this, on top of then having souls for tournaments, or souls inside of tournaments, I already got burnt on this. Why would I try this again? Like, what's the point? Like, they would need to bring out some insane mythic champion or like god tier void Lego for me to just like go so incredibly hard on the first day that nobody in the group is gonna even think of competing.
So I'm gonna bring this up, right? This was a champ training tournament. No soul, no nothing. It was last minute, last 15 minutes. I was sitting at 23K. This guy, Matt Steele here, was sitting at 25, and this Kana guy was sitting at 17. And in the last 17 minutes, 15 minutes, this is what it ended up being. This guy, Matt, ended up just dropping, saying, forget this, once I just blew right past them. This guy over here, Kana, kept going. So, to your point, this is exactly what will happen during these events. And with
the question is, why did you guys push hard for this champion training tournament? Like, I mean,
you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
It
ego? Wait, don't have ego.
Huh?
Don't have ego.
Not ego. No. I don't give a shit about ego. I just didn't want to have to do another Dungeon Divers
Oh
and
my god, dude.
Fire Knight. So I was like, you
But-
know what? I'll get it right
but-
now.
You
But
probably
I
did
don't.
more
detected-
stuff doing that.
No, I don't. I don't mind you doing this because we are in the middle of Faction Wars Hard, and like the only event I want to see going on 24/7 is champion training. Because every day when a new dungeon opens and I
That's
have
true.
new things that I need to add to deal with these very boring, might I add, challenges, then I need to level up a new champion for every faction probably.
That's true.
So, like, doing this, like, yeah, sure, go for it. It kind of makes sense at this point. Like, if it wasn't for Faction Wars Heart, I would say you're crazy. Why are you doing this? But yeah,
Blazing
I
already
was-
has every champion leveled up, as he said in multiple podcasts before.
yeah,
Probably he
it
don't
was.
need any champion level
seems
up
like
for
a
Faction
waste.
Wars, yeah.
I don't know. We could take a quick peek here, but as for champion wise, if we just look 6 stars, I'm sitting at 572. So I don't know. We'll get into the,
Let me
the
check
faction
mine.
wars.
Let me check mine.
We'll get into the faction wars pretty soon.
354.
354. Oh,
Yeah.
double, almost just about double what free to play should be. You know.
How long you been playing?
6 years.
Same.
Yeah. So honestly, it's gotten down to the point where half of these champions that I'm leveling, I mean, I'm never going to use a Nord. Guys, I leveled the Necro Hunter. Who the hell needs the Necro Hunter? When are you going to ever use a Necro Hunter, right?
Who the hell is Necro Hunter? Huh? Okay.
Come on. I got a 5-star soul for him, right? But yeah, no, I agree with you there. PJ, what are your thoughts on the soul chase, on the champ chase for the soul?
Pretty expected, honestly. Feels like with the lesser fusions they do this, which kind of sucks because the people that actually need the souls aren't going to be able to get them. Whereas like the Titan event, it gives like more opportunity for people to get. So expected, but sucks. Yeah, there could be something like Gestal said where they're trying to put something, like they're kind of trying to rush it a little bit, have something coming up here in the future, and they didn't want to do a big Titan event. But it seems like they do that in the past where like in their minds or their eyes, like the lesser fusions, they don't really do the big events for.
Okay. And just to show chat real quick, the epic champions are the only ones that I still have left to do, and it's less than 50. So I'm gonna get to the point where I'll literally have one of every champion leveled up, if not 2 in some cases, like Taras. Hey Jay, I know you seem a little bored there, but we're getting a little cozy here, being next to each other. What are your thoughts on it?
You need to sniff his shoulder.
In general, this is typical Plarium stuff, right? Like MXPJ was saying, it's not super popular, not crazy like a Fabian or Armand. So of course we're not going to get a Titan event. Sometimes they do heroes paths, right, where we have to go and try to get, or we get these champion chases. It's just for most of the majority, it's not going to affect us too much because most people are going to vault this champion anyways. But in general, for people who do want the champion, it kind of kicks them, right? Because they're like, damn, I have to pull shards, and what if you don't have? Then you have to invest into your account, and then you're not even guaranteed. What I think they should do is they should put like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, kind of like how you can get fragments like 10, 15, like at the top, and then you get 5 and stuff like that. They should just put like that way people who are pulling, who get 3rd or 4th place, can at least still get something in terms of blessing for the champion. Because just straight 5 or like what Lydia's coming, it's crazy. It's like, man, it's a little too much. It's like we've been doing this how long? Like many years. I think they should just adapt, try to change things up. But I guess they just it's the best way, I guess, monetization wise, maybe. That's why they keep doing it, but it's just whatever.
Right. And, again, I can't put, there is so much emphasis on the soul on the champion because of what it provides that, again, especially a fusion, which a fusion is considered something that should be obtainable for everybody in the community if they're, properly using their resources. The soul is that much more important. Now, I was reading some of chat here, and I got people saying that no, they would definitely go for the champion over the soul. And it wouldn't discourage them if that's how they keep doing it, because it's literally based on the champion, which, you know, as Gestal made a comment earlier, you know, if it's Armand, you're going to go for him. So yes, I get it. But, you know, so I guess for myself as an endgame player, I do put a more emphasis on the soul. Again, though, I've got 500 plus champions leveled. So there's really not something, which again, we'll get into in just a minute here with the faction wars, that I won't be able to complete. Let's talk about this little, I don't know if it's a little event, but the Lydia. Now, this is the first time they've done a soul for Lydia. And I want to say, guys, I think this is the first time I've seen them do a 6-star soul. Do you guys remember?
They did it with Ninja. They did it with Ninja.
Ninja had a 6-star.
Yep.
But Ninja's 6-star soul was for Champ Chase, wasn't it? Not Champ Training.
It was number 1, I believe.
It was number 1, but it wasn't for a Champ Training. It was for a Champ Chase.
It might have been Champ Chase. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because if it's usually Champ Training, I tend to go for those pretty hard. Because again, I just put that much emphasis onto it. That said, 20,000 points minimum, which is I think the highest I've seen them do at this point for a 6-star soul or for anything. Usually it's set at like 5 or 10. First of all, are you going to go for this event and or have you suggested for people to go for this event at all? Ken?
I mean, if nobody on my tournament pushing, sure. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be people going to push that, so I'm going to skip that, to be honest. I have a 3-star on my Lydia. I wasn't really using Lydia before the Chimera. She's amazing now, so most of the people actually would decide to go for the soul is they are going for the Chimera. She's one of the best champion for the Chimera, and having soul for her can definitely help you. Okay with my 3-star, man, to be honest.
Okay.
I will do 20,000, but if you can guarantee me I'm going to get the 6-star, sure. But
right,
I feel like nobody can guarantee that, so I don't want to race with the people.
I kind of agree with you there. Like, I feel like if you're gonna set the threshold at 20,000, I mean, they do the I know I said do, but they do some of the events like the Titan Path events where we have to go down and there's champion trainings, and those seem to be, I think, fairly more expensive. So again, I'm not sure why they didn't just do it that way. I think that's more of a resource sink, because getting only one person, I mean, literally the fight is only going to be between 2 or 3 people. There's not going to be, you know, if I wake up and there's already somebody at 20,000 points, forget it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So again, I just don't understand why they only did it, especially with Lydia, which is something that everyone has. It's a champion that everybody has. Why wouldn't they just do it for everybody? Zero, you were shaking your head no earlier. What do you say?
Yeah, they're not doing it for everybody because I really think because they're doing this in champ training, which will also include potions and feast and barrels and books of all things. I don't know about y'all, but I sit on a lot of that stuff. And I think an event like this is going to flush a lot of that in the community. 20,000.
Because again, it's only a fight that's going to happen with a certain amount of people. If all 7 of us here are in there, how do you think all 7 of us are going to fight for this one soul? Do you think all 7 of us are going to go for 20, 25, 30,000 points? No, at some point.
It depends on what soul you have on her now. If you have a 5-star soul on her now, probably not. But like me, I have a 3-star soul. So I'm on the fence as far as this. Now, I do feel like this is a huge trap. I think this is a huge trap, and I think people should be very, very cautious. And the thing that you need to be cautious of is exactly what I was just talking about. All those potions, all those feasts, all those things can be instantly activated. And in about 20 minutes, I have over 10,000 potions. So in about 20 minutes, I can probably rack up 30 or 40,000 points with my books and everything like that too. So this is going to be the snipe of all snipes. And I think you're right, Blaze. And I think the strategy would be go hard, go fast, and see if you just discourage people from getting even close. But in 30 minutes, I could put up 20,000 points. I guarantee you. So
Okay.
I think this is a way to get all of the people that have been hoarding all those resources out, and that's why they did it this way.
Yeah, but again, I feel like if that's the case, why not make books usable in the Titan's Path event and not?
I mean, you
You know,
could, yeah, 100%.
If they added
Yeah.
that into the Titan's Path event, and then I feel like you would probably get, if it was, let's say 50,000 points. In chat, let me know. Do you agree with this or not? If this was 50,000 points in a Titan's Path event, right, where you could use the books, or you could use everything basically straight like this, how many of you would be enticed to go for the 6-star Lydia Soul as opposed to the champ training where it's only one? I feel like if they're trying to suck out as much as they can for resources, that's probably the better way. And I know I might get some hate by telling people this. And, you know, next thing we know, Plarium does a 6-star soul event for another champion in there. But I feel like that would honestly be the better way. Because again, then you're not getting the 1 or 2 or 3 people. Then I feel like all 7 of us would say, yeah, you know what? 50,000 points. Let's go. I'll do it. It's guaranteed. It's money in the bank, as they say, right?
Yeah, and I'll just say, I guarantee you, if you look at that top leaderboard at the end of this, everybody on there will have 100,000 plus points minimum. And I'm thinking there are probably going to be some people with like 200-300 plus, the ones at the top. That's just my guess. That's my prediction. We'll see if I'm right in a week. But
okay, Mr. PJ, what about you?
Kind of like Ken. I mean, I'll have to see how hard people are pushing. I'm generally not a fan of the minimum requirement for these things. They've had them in the past, and then they kind of lowered some of them, but it seems like they're kind of raising them again, which I don't like to see. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's tough. 6-star is really good, especially for Chimera. Huh?
You get the extra speed from it. That's big.
Yeah,
especially when you're trying to hit like 300.
Definitely, yeah. 6-star speed, 6-star given the speed, like on Chimera, she's amazing. It's gonna be tough though. Be careful if you are gonna go for it. People are gonna try to snipe. And it just sucks.
I will tell you exactly, because that's what happened with the champ training for me for the 10 extra fragments, right? It was the last 15 minutes, and I actually set up an alarm clock on my day off to be able to do this too. That's how devoted I was to it. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, am I gonna go for this? I probably wait and see as well. I don't really want to I don't like putting a lot of time in on champ training. It's annoying. But if nobody's going for it, I will definitely scoop it up, that's for sure. But obviously there could be tons of people doing that. My one thing is, you think that there was a problem during the Queen of Hearts with their servers? Think about everybody doing auto upgrade at the end of this thing rolling. Talk about melting. That is like how many champs are going to be getting upgraded in like an instant right before the end of this thing. So be wary of that, Plarium. Check your servers.
Hey, Plarium, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go for it, but if there's an issue with the server, if I come in second place, I'm expecting a 6-star Lydia because of your service.
Oh, no, dude. No, dude. Last time when that happened and I sent them an email, oh, we know. A lot of people are complaining about it. We got 1 energy refill and 100k silver.
Oh, it's horrible.
Problem solved, dude. Problem solved. You missed out on the Lego Relic craft for free. Here you go. 1 energy refill, dude. You're good.
I thought, wasn't it some people ended up actually getting the Queen of Hearts because they came in second and because they had the issue?
Yeah, but there were also people that couldn't do the event entirely, like myself.
Oh,
I was sitting on like I think the week after, I spent the money on like primals and voids the week after, but I was basically like ready to swipe like, what was it, $4,000 for that tournament, and I just couldn't. So like I like literally my plan was to just like go in there in the last 30 minutes, click, and be done with it, and I couldn't get in.
But your credit card was working though, right? They managed to take that money. Gotcha.
No, you couldn't do any payments, nothing. You were not allowed to get in the game. It was
Wow.
just, yeah.
Wow. Jay, what about you, man?
I agree with Zero Brute. This is definitely 100% a bait for normal players. Now, we all know how powerful Lydia is. You know, protection sets 9-piece, feral 9-piece, super goated. So, of course, people are going to battle for this. But if you have a bracket where no one's really, maybe one person's going, you could try to battle them. But I'm telling you, there's going to be lots of Seeker sniping here because we know how strong she is for a Chimera. And in just in general, right? Like Hard Faction Wars, Curse City, she counters Amius. It is insane. Normally they give, 5-star soul? So 6-star soul on a champion that we all have? Yeah, people are going to go for this. It's going to be last minute craziness. So, but for normally, I have a 3-star as well. I'm totally fine. Not like I need the 5, not using our live arena or 6-star. You don't need the extra speed. It's like whatever. We're getting better glyphs anyways in the future, right? With Hard Faction War. So I'm not gonna go for this bait. I think it's better for most players to save because they probably have something coming up. We know the new event dungeon's coming. We know new stuff's coming. So I would probably save in general.
As for myself, I do use Lydia both in my Chimera team and in my Hydra team. So, just a fair warning, I'm at like 99.9% chance that I'm going to go for this. Unless I wake up and somebody in my bracket is like 20, 30,000 right off the rip, then I'm not even going to bother fighting for it. So, guys, just again, a word of caution to everybody. If you're planning to go for this event, this is one of the easiest events to snipe at the very last minute. As we all know, you can use books, you can upgrade champions. Just be careful if you do go for it. Don't think you get yourself locked in because again, 20, 30, 40,000 points can be put up in a matter of minutes. All right. Hey, hard mode faction.
Do I get a turn?
I thought I gave you. Well, you started talking. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to point out if you can bring the image back up. Okay. Because there's something really crappy what they did. So the first time we had this was with Ninja. And with Ninja, the first time they did this, they did 2 of these for Ninja, right? Granted, it wasn't champion training, but they basically did 2 events for the Ninja Soul. However, there was no level discrepancy. So now if you're not level 100, you cannot get a 6-star soul. So my account is level 96 because I have no reason to farm campaign as a whale because I just buy the chickens. So my account is not level 100 and there's no point in me going for this because I cannot get a 6-star soul. The people that are below, like people that are like new, you can get like level 30 in one day, right? But then like you have like the people in the 41 to 60 bracket, if they go for this and they get sniped, chances are if they're free to play, they are unable to do a next fusion. So this I'm going to call it pure discrimination based on level is something that they introduced for no reason because they've already shown us with the Ninja Soul that they don't have to do this.
That's, I usually say PJ is the worst, word of reason. But I think I'm going to have to give that to you today. I didn't even think about that part, especially because every account I have, I've done so much sham training. I've done so much this, everything's at a level 100. So I really didn't even think about that. But yeah, that is kind of shitty. I agree 100%. So maybe if you're lower than that, it's not even worth getting, right?
Yeah. So for me, straight out the bat, because I'm level 96, I'm not going to go for this because I don't have a chance. Like I would need to get 4 levels on my account before this, so I would need to dump a crap ton of energy into campaign farming, something I don't do to begin with. Because there's no reason for me to do it.
You could run some spider. I mean, if you're low on silver, right?
Yeah. Like it's not worth it because there's also a pinpoint dungeon coming up. So do I really want to spend my energy on this? The answer is a big fat no, because you would need to get level 100.
Hey, I
and you would still need to win it.
do you have some secret information we don't about a pinpoint dungeon coming up?
Well,
'Cause-
it's a very, very clear cycle that it basically comes back every 6 months. Plarium is very strict on their cycles with how they provide content to their player base, and there's a clear trend in this.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to point out that for Gestal, champion training is handled client side, so this will not affect the servers as much as
Oh, okay. That's
champion
good.
chase event, because champion chase event, champion like you pulling shards is actually done server side.
Okay.
Well, that's good
Actually-
for them, man. Because I was thinking that would be a bigger problem with all
Yep.
that data going in, but that's good. I didn't know.
That makes when you're talking about the pinpoint dungeon coming back, that makes a lot of sense because everybody's getting that lightning offer, and I stupidly didn't even look at it. I just kind of closed it because I was at my church cooking. I was like, oh, let me just log in and do some quick 3v3 because I'm running low, and I didn't even see what it was until PJ was talking about it prior to us going live here. But man, Plarium, send that offer back to me, please. I need it.
Yeah, just to point it out, last time they did the same thing, right? We had energy offers and stuff that were pretty nice, pretty good. Some were even amazing. And then the event dungeon opens, and there were no good energy deals. And this is going to happen again. Like the
Right.
moment that event dungeon opens, if you don't buy the good energy deals, you're not going to get them anymore as long as that dungeon is running. So yeah. Keep that in mind. You better stock up
They
now.
claim that doesn't happen, that there's specific deals for each time. But yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know. But hey, at least if that's the case, we know we're going to get a free champion. Who knows? I really hope they don't do what they did with Artur Linux or Ludix, because he's not even working out. All right. Hard mode faction wars. Guys, we've been waiting so long for this. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and say that my biggest gripe is not the challenges themselves, although I can't really call them challenges. I can basically say that it's worse trials than Chimera. But 3 days in a row, I was getting the quest for do a hard mode faction war boss. Now, I will give them credit. They did remove the use the rare and keep all your champions alive. But for the love of God, why on brand new content that no one is going to get a faction war boss for at least a week to a week and a half? And that's assuming that they've done everything. Do you leave that quest in? How many of you guys, I guess my first question is going to be did you get the quest and did you do it? Or did you actually skip it and say, screw it, I'm going to go with my progression? Ken, let me start off with you.
Yeah, 3-4 days in row, I got this quest. I skip it because I want to get the mythical champion ASAP as possible. As a content creator, we need to make a content, right? So,
Okay. Chat, what about you guys? Did you get the quest and did you go for it or not? Did you just leave it and say, forget it? Or I'm going to go back for my 5 gems and get that? What did you put more emphasis on? Zero, what about you? I know it was a couple of days for you.
I had 4 days in a row, and then I had 1 day break from it, and then I'm back at it again. So I think we've had 6 days. 5 of the 6 days I've had that. I don't mind them having that as a thing. Like you said, they got rid of the rare and all that. But you're right. For the love of God, just put it on pause for 2 weeks. Like they could have done something that says, hey, we're going to leave this in the game, but let's just pause it for 2 weeks. Because when they removed the other ones, I feel like it almost guaranteed you got that one.
Right.
And then to answer the other question is, did I skip it or do it? I actually went back to normal and did the completionist and went and did it. So I'm behind in my faction wars. Yeah, I'm behind on my faction wars, but I'm like, we'll get it eventually. Like, it's going to put me behind a week, maybe at the most. I'm like a week, and I'd rather have the extra energy and the extra stuff to do it, especially because I was going for the fusion. I wanted the extra energy to run for the, the different dungeon divers and all that crap. So that's why I did it.
So 100 and so no, wait, what is it? 4 times? So 520 energy.
It was 5 times. 5 times total.
Okay, so 650 energy, and then I know you really put a big emphasis on the Plarium points. So the 15 Plarium points were huge for your account, along with the 25 gems, right?
But yeah, I mean, 650 energy. When you put it like that, I mean, how much do they sell? You know, an energy pack for, right? For 650 energy, how much is that? How much is that worth as well? And then, of course, I don't know if it was for like the gems or whatever. So you're also, I don't know if it's for like 5 gems or something like that as well. But yeah, I don't know. That's I decided, you know what, and that's how I treat all these events. I don't go ham as fast as I can, as humanly possible. So I was okay with doing that.
Yeah. PJ, what about you?
The first day I got use a rare, and I was actually able to squeeze one in there. And then I did get a few of the beat up boss, and I skipped them. I thought it was a pretty easy skip. I skipped it and did it on hard.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, easy skip on that. I mean, the energy's nice. Missing it's not the end of the world. I think this mythical's pretty good, so I'm going pretty hard for it.
Okay. Bick, what about you?
Yeah, just like the last 2 fusions and these soul defense, easy skips.
Fair.
Just focus on getting those glyphs. Like even if you're not going for the champion, getting those higher tier glyphs is kind of a big deal because, well, what is it? We can get 28 more speed now thanks to these new glyphs. 28 speed is a crap ton. So yeah,
that power creep is going to be real. 100%. And I think you'll probably get your champions up to 350 speed now with hard mode, you know?
I'm personally hoping to like break 300 speed on my average champion thanks to these glyphs. My arbiter is still sub 200 speed, I believe. So
oh damn,
yeah,
Get in there, baby.
Hey, at least
I have the slowest account ever.
At least you got the cock, right? You got the cock, so that's worth for you.
A buffed cock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. God, I hope we don't get in trouble for this.
What,
Jay,
Viagra?
Yeah, I actually don't go for the advanced quest that much. Some people have called me professional skipper. I've missed 6 weeks of Hydra, 3 of Chimera, and I probably missed like 200 of those advanced quests. The 130 energy for me is not that big of a deal. When you look at the glyphs and the relics that you're getting from Faction Wars, that's way more than 6 hours of me waiting for my energy to refill on my account. So I'm not going to go too crazy for that energy. So every single time I see that on the advanced quest, I just go, okay, this is a guaranteed skip. I'm pushing Faction Wars. So that's just me for personally.
Okay. So let me find out, I guess. Have you
So I'm the only loser.
Yeah. Well, you're just
No.
you think outside the box, I guess. I don't know. And you're a whale too, so I'm kind of ashamed actually. Let's talk a little bit about the challenges. Have you been able to complete every single one so far? You guys sitting, I think, what is it, 117 if you've completed everything. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I got everything so far.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, I've got everything so far, but there have been a few interesting ones.
Okay. Mr. Zero Brew?
I have not. I had a learning curve on the first day. Take your Taras out when you need a rope-a-dope. But I was like, I'm risking Taras. Why would I not play with Taras? And Taras was just smoking the waves where I could do stuff. And then I realized, oh, you take a bunch of rope-a-dope champs that just keep yourself alive and you just do all the stuff till you can get it done. Shout out to Zeloth on the stage 5 of Undead right now, coming in with the sleeps. I have a level 40 Zeloth that I never thought I'd ever use. And he's coming in, put him in a day set, and he's got the sleeps going on. So there it is.
No Siffy?
Yeah,
I do not have Siffy. I wish I did. I do not.
That is actually one of the bigger problems right now, I think, for a lot of like endgame, late game players is killing the waves too fast and not being able to get the
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah, just don't use the DPS champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I just want to shout this out to everyone. Everyone went into their faction, whatever, bonus area, and they probably put all their points in because it was a really easy hit, especially if you do live arena and stuff. I actually only put my hits on accuracy for that reason, because I was afraid that the extra 20%
There you
crit damage and the 20% ignored defense would push me over the top. And so I've been able to rope-a-dope the heck out of these to get the poisons and the sleeps and the stuns and all that crap. So that's the interesting one for me was the Mountain King and what's his name, G-Nut, on the 6 times to hit for half their life or whatever. That was a little bit harder for me to do, but I was able to get it done.
Okay.
But if I had done the other, it would probably made that easier to do, but it would have wiped the waves faster.
I will say I had to bring in some subpar champions in the lower stages. Again, I think this is only a problem for the lower stages, not for the higher end ones, as everything will scale up a little more. So we'll definitely need it then. But the lower stages, I did find myself with some, like, I wasn't even using champions in like Savage or Lethal gear. And I was like, shit, they're dying too fast. I need to basically A1 rotate everything so I can get my provokes back up or my freezes back up. But chat, where are you guys sitting with hard mode faction wars? How many stars are you guys in? Are you even working on them? I know Bick was really, really happy about a particular one, which was the dwarves. And I want to say, was it the freeze, right? I think this one was the best one for you because you managed to complete this. If I can find your screenshot that you sent me, this was an interesting time frame because it was probably the longest run ever at 28 minutes because he had a torment. That's all he was working with. So
No, I did not have a torment.
You
That's
did
the
not
problem.
have the torment, bro.
Yeah, I did not have a torment.
I just tripled G-Nut at that and it was easy. I know Airframe
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah.
I know Airframe was all excited about hearing triple G-Nuts, but
I'm waiting for the tutorial video where you show us how easy Dwarf Faction Wars is with triple G-Nut and how free to play friendly it is. I will also be very, very disappointed if you don't have a 6-star blessing on each one of them, preferably also +4 on like at least 1 or 2. So yeah. It was pure terror because I was like literally sitting there on the first wave, just A1ing, A1, 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 A1. I have to wait until the block debuffs wears out. A1, A1. And it took 28 minutes and then something. And I think this is my biggest gripe. Like, ignore the quests that we're getting. That the fact that the quests are not updated. If this is like your biggest complaint, you are living high and mighty, I would say. My biggest problem with this is that it's so incredibly boring and tedious. This is just a time sink if you don't have like some specific things. And I'm not a big fan of it because I believe this week, correct me if I'm wrong, Hell Hades came up with a video and he's like, oh guys, look, they added 3x battles and they're really trying to reduce the amount of time we put in the game. And here I'm like looking at these challenges and the only thing I can think about is like, are we even playing the same game? Like, do you even touch this game anymore? How can you say this? So yeah, I have a personal vendetta. Whoever decided that the only way to make Faction Wars challenging is by making freeze and daze and stun sets like viable in the end game because of these challenges.
Well, I'll give you an example here. So one of the hardest ones that I had was place a provoke in the Organ Tribe for 10. And if you guys, I spoke about this, but if you go Organ Tribe, okay, and you're just looking at provoke champions, the champion pool is so limited. Here we go. There you go. This is everything, right? Make sure I'm
you
not
have Ignatius?
No. Prundar. Prundar came in. Prundar came in, stun on the A1, provoke. Like it was the number 1 champion, and I was like, holy shit, I'm actually gonna have to level up Prundar for something.
I had one faction where I had it was Bellower is in this faction, right?
Yep.
I had 2 Bellowers in either a provoke or a stun set, and then like an additional champion that had the provoke or the stun. And I believe it took me 6 hours to get it done. Like 6 hours of like RNG fishing before I went into the 3rd stage, thinking like, okay, this one has a realistic chance. And I also had like on one of the earlier stages, I had a champion in Affinity Breaker, and I never did not peak hit. It's as if Affinity Breaker does not work in this game mode. So I have no clue what's up with these sets, if it's my RNG or not. But if their intent of endgame is basically, hey, you have these very niche sets that nobody uses, and you need to put them on a champion that has an AOE attack. And that's basically our endgame people, then I think they need to fire whoever their lead game designer is and find somebody who actually knows what the meaning of fun is, because my god, this is just a time sink.
I mean, look, all I'm gonna say is, Centranos and stun sets, it's just copy and paste at that point, for some of these. I am interested to find out though, anybody out there, did you level a rock beast for the A1 provoke? I would love to see if anybody did that, because you may very well have to. Ken, what were some of the challenges for you with the with the trials?
I don't know. I really didn't stuck anywhere yet. Ogre tribe, I got like I have a Grazor, so he will provoke, And most of the cases, guys, we needed some set item. Like, there is going to be challenges, is going to force us actually land the 10 debuff. And I'm not sure we are able to find a champion casting that much debuff on each faction. So either even we are not going to be stuck on the day set, we don't need a day set right now for the sleep debuff. For example, on undead, if you have a Sif, you don't need it, right? But I think we still need to be stock them day set, toxic set, per set. What else? Provoke set, stun set. We need to land extra debuff on them, and I think they are going to.
They had to make Ice Golem worth running again. That was basically it.
I mean, Ice Golem, to be honest, have one of the best gear in the game, reflex gear. I'm really big fan of this gear, so I don't know why you guys still hate the Ice Golem, but it's my opinion. Anyway, we are very early, man. Like, today is the first day we actually attacked anything more than stage 3, which is stage 4, 5, 6. So, but I already can tell you one thing. Wave has no joke, man. Like, there was one time, I believe a couple of days ago, it was stage 3. My skill was on the cooldown. I was like, okay, how hard it can be. It's stage 3, right? Bro, they actually finished me. There was Östrit, Elba, stuff like that. Östrit got a turn, she cast the decrease speed and weakened to me, and boom. There was a Ruella on the enemy, and she just one-tapped one of my DPS champion. He was attack DPS squishy, but still. Still, stage 3 we're talking about here. There's stage 21.
I'm just kind of looking at this one right here, right? Because this is under high elves.
I think every 17 is don't land weak hit. That's every stage 17.
Oh my god.
I think for this quest, don't trust Affinity Breaker, like the Biko say. Don't trust Affinity Breaker. Just use the Void Champion or Death Dealer Relics, guys. If you guys have a Death Dealer mythical, that can happen.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. Thanks. We know the. Oh, God, I hate you so much. I was watching you do arena with what's our boy's name?
Nice.
Embrace there.
Embrace. My Embrace is so good with it.
I was like, when I was crafting mine, I was like, please give it to me. Please. I was shit. I ended up
You got the Death Dealer, Ken?
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that is awesome. If he's got a Trunda now, he'll be all set. He can't complain anymore about nerfing Trunda, because then, he'll be.
I'd stop talking about it.
Yeah, he's like, I stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
Man, I see this stage, and this is going to be really hard.
Can I say something real quick there?
Go ahead.
I don't know how hard the next stage is going to be, but I think that everybody agree with one thing. Our biggest enemy is the Silver Coast. Plarium, just delete this thing, man. Or make it 50% permanent off. This is so stupid, man. I don't know why we're still talking about this thing. And it's hurting, dude.
And personal vendetta here, I also want to point out that they had a perfect option to make Fortis an actual champion with these challenges, and they failed to do so once again, and he's still the worst void in the game.
Oh, come
Fartis?
on. He's got a fear. He's no.
Yeah, which of these challenges requires a fear? Let's see
That's
it.
well, not for Fortis, but I think there was one where I had to land a fear, wasn't it? I wish we could
I
just
don't
go in
remember.
and take a look at each one that way.
You want the
because
spreadsheet? I have the spreadsheet.
No, I tried looking at the spreadsheet. It made me way too like
Yeah.
yeah. But that said, let's go to Gestal. What about you? Did you have any issues with some of these?
Yeah, no real issues so far. Mostly just kind of finding the champ that would fit the need and then making sure they had decent gear. It's actually been kind of nice. I'm getting a lot of gear out of my inventory that's decent enough to kind of throw on a situation like this. So I've opened up a fair amount of space in my gear inventory, and I haven't really. I've been trying not to like spend too much on silver on like leveling gear and whatnot. But I have inside sources on one that is really difficult that has not been mentioned because one of the guys in our clan, he just recently came back and he did the same thing that Bick did. So he's a little bit further ahead on the faction wars. Clear number 7 there. Clear the stage in 100 turns. That's actually pretty easy for all the bosses except the one that resets their health and whatever transfers all the buffs. So I've heard that one's quite difficult to get in 100 turns.
Okay.
So I think you basically have to have enough damage to kill the boss before she takes that turn.
Twice, or kill, but kill before she does.
Or twice, yeah, but I think on that level, hopefully it's not too much HP. He's returning and he hasn't played in like a year and a half, 2 years, so his account's a little behind, but he was saying that was by far the hardest one that he's seen.
Okay. Beck, you're right. They totally left Fortis out of that faction.
It's not a champion. He's not a champion.
Yeah. PJ, what about you?
I've been really trying to not use as much like silver to swap as much as possible. I guess that's been like my biggest challenge, is just like a self challenge, because I remember when Curse City first came out, I did a bunch of silver swapping for that and gear swapping. So I had to do a little bit. Like for the stun one, I put Artac in stun. That was really helpful for that challenge. And then another one for the sleep one for the undead. I actually made a video. It should be coming out later today. But I used Harvest Jack, a level 1 5-star Harvest Jack with True Fear. I put True Fears before, and then he came in with his A3, and if they already had True Fears, I had a chance of putting a sleep, and he was an AoE. So I was actually able to get the sleep with that. So I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't have a day set, which would have been a lot easier. I think that's also kind of an issue. They want us to start using all these gear sets, like days and sets that we were instantly selling before. And it's like we need more space. But days is actually really good for a lot of those sleeps. It's like a 25% chance of landing. So it would help. I don't have Siffy. The other epic Zelta, I had a level 1 4-star, so I didn't really want to level him up. The other thing I did find that is nice is a lot of these champions I'm using are people I used in Curse City and leveled up for Curse City. So I think there's a pretty direct correlation between champions in Curse City and champions you're going to use in Faction Wars, which is kind of nice. So definitely keep working on Curse City if you guys are struggling in Faction Wars, because I think the champions overlap pretty well.
Yeah, with the exception of Prudnar, and I think maybe one or two other ones, there wasn't really one that I already didn't have leveled because of Curse City, so I agree with that. For anybody out there that thought that, the Siffy A1 was going to be an easy thing, trust me, it wasn't. It was very boring having to deal with that. Zero, what about you, man? What did you find was the most challenging one so far, or have you found anything?
Once I figured out not to kill him so damn quickly, there were a few in there that were. Sorry, what?
And put it on auto.
Yeah. Don't put it on auto. Yeah, and this like I don't want to book a Mountain King here and things like that. So there were some of those. Again, I was able to do. There were a few that I skipped that I was like, I don't want to deal with this now. I'll deal with it later when like a free gear cleanse comes or something like that. Or I was trying to. I had some free gear cleanse stuff, but I was trying to like bottle them up. I was like, okay, I'm about to put my gear on my Empress and my Lamasu. While I'm doing it, let me see if I can re-gear some champions and stuff. But I actually have the opposite effect of Bick. No offense to him, but I understand his point 100%, because if you are mid game or a little bit earlier in the game, I can see this being extremely frustrating and hard to do. I think I would suggest most people watching this treat this as like, hey, this is more in game content, right? And if you look at it from that perspective, I think that. It gives us something to do, and I'm actually really, it's weird. I'm excited about it. Now, if I had to do this every single time, like one part of me is like, oh, once I do this once, this is just going to be done and I'll never have to do it again. And so I think that'll eventually solve the time sink thing that Bick was mentioning, and I can see that being extremely frustrating. And I like that part about Sin City, but then I've never done it, and what 47 people did all of them or something in 2024 or something like that. But
which is, I think, is a bogus one, because I was like,
I have a question for you, Zero.
Huh?
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Do you not mind leveling champions up for hard faction wars? What do you find the difference between Curse City and hard faction wars? Like,
yeah,
you don't mind
I think
leveling up
because
one versus the other.
yeah, I think because in Sin City you have to constantly do it. Like for this, I look at it as like a one and done type thing versus, and I think in Sin City, it's so restrictive. Like again, this is obviously restrictive, but you still have your whole roster for the faction, right? And the things are the poisons, you can do a poison set, stuns, you can do a stun set, provoke, you can do a provoke set. So there's a ton of stuff in there. Even the Terminator manipulation stuff, right? You can do, was it reflex or I don't know. You can do some of that stuff. So I think it's just a little bit, it's just a little bit different from that perspective, in my opinion. Versus you always have to do it. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I'm trying to put my.
It's kind of funny. I don't know. It's ironic. I think it's cool. It's interesting.
Well, it's also, like in Sin City though, it's like I have this one or two pieces of sunset and I have to move it to 300 different champions. And then it's just like, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe I have to use, the stun set, but like in this, and again, this might be the earlier stages, the later stages may be a lot harder, like the stats you need to be able to complete them. So again, I think we're still in the beginning stages and we don't know what those, what 16 through 21 is going to look like. But 1 through 6, I'm like, oh, I can just do this with a level 40 Zeloth. And he has the A3 that could put everything to sleep. And I put him in a day set. So it basically, turned him into a little miniature Siffy, or like you said, 25% chance of being a Siffy. And that was easy. That was awesome. That was great. Now, if I have to level Zeloth to do it again at stage 16 or 17, will that piss me off? Yeah, probably.
Well, I think you're probably going to have to, because as you scale up to a higher level of the hard mode faction wars, they're going to hit a lot harder. So it's not like normal faction wars where we said, oh, just get them to 5-star, get them in good gear. It's not going to work out that way. The multipliers are a lot higher. I mean, Ruella was nuking my nukers with like an A1. I was like, holy shit. And especially in some factions like Orgrimmar Tribe, if you die, you're pretty much SOL'd, right? You could. By the way, shout out to Mr. Being Useless here, who was like, bro, you were complaining about Organ Tribes, but he's like, you really need to level yourself a gear grinder and put him in a bolster set and you'll be fine.
I did use gear grinder, actually.
Here's the thing, though, it's a rare champion and I just don't use them.
Yeah,
so,
he's a whale, guys. Come on. Krakens don't use.
Bro,
rares.
I got a fully built gear grinder ready to roll. I had it ready to roll before. What do you mean you got a gear grinder
for Doom Tower?
Yeah, bro. He was built a long time ago,
Just
man.
pull a Bellatar. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, when I was actually pulling my voids, I was trying to feed some champions to get it done, and he came out, and I was like, oh shit, wait, I can't feed him because I might actually need him. So Yeah, I kept them. I kept them.
Build him
As
up,
for-
bro. He's good.
As for Bellatar, I don't think so. He's pretty crappy reviver.
He would
By
carry
the
in
way,
Faction Wars.
on that one, I have a Bellatar, and I didn't realize because I've never used him. Like, oh, he would do it. And I sure enough, I used Gear Grinder to get through that.
Yeah,
Nice.
I feel like, I'd probably put more investment in Gear Grinder than Bellatar because I don't think he's worth the legendary books.
Oh, I lied. It's not Bellatar that I have. It's Ugear. I have.
Jay,
Never mind.
what about you, man?
Well, I don't want to sound too. I did fully level up the area bonus for Faction Wars, so most factions, honestly, except for one, I think it was Lizardman, I was able to full auto everything. If you get to
Show
a
off.
certain, if you get to a certain position where like there's Elvas in the waves, like multiple, you have to, of course, then manual, choose the Elvas and then like use CC on them because they'll just cleanse everything and ruin everything. But other than that, I was able to do everything. And you know what's cool? On Undead Stage 5, you can actually use Death Knight, which I have a level 61. That's why I'm wearing the shirt too. I used him to put sleeps. He has sleep on the A1, and used Seducer as well, has sleep on the A1, so that's a rare. Used that for that stage. That was pretty
Oh,
good.
you're
But
talking
overall,
about-
all the
He's
factions have
Hellhound.
You're talking about regular
Yeah.
Death Knight. I'm thinking to
That was
myself,
easy one,
like,
too.
wait, UDK has a. I'm like, no, UDK doesn't have a sleep.
He does.
No, not
Yes,
Ultimate
no.
Death Knight. Death Knight, regular Death Knight has.
Some creators back then, remember when they gave us this for some of us
Yes.
built out DK back then, so that's why I have a level 61.
Okay, fair point. Again, he's a common champion, so doubt I'll ever level him up, but maybe now. I don't know.
You could use a Hellhound. He's like 100% if you crit.
that
He's a
is
demon,
as,
not an undead.
Common. Go down. Down.
No,
Hellhound.
Hellhound.
Yeah.
Okay. If he crits,
If you
okay.
crit, 100%,
Wow.
baby.
So your choices are basically commons or Sifi, because either or, it's not gonna work.
Enjoy.
out unless, yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what do you think the biggest challenge for everybody is going to be with hard mode faction wars? Honestly, by just looking at some of these trials, I think the one I'm more concerned about, and that's going to be the most time consuming one, is the stage 17 that says you can't land a weak hit, especially because, I mean, if I go through and look at how many void champions I have, granted, I'm probably in a little better position than most people. I don't know if I could get a good enough team with all voids that's going to have a reviver or some sort of support to keep everybody else alive. So what do you guys think? Where do you see your biggest challenge being, or anybody's biggest challenge being? Let's start with, I'm going to give everybody some time to think, because Bick looks like he's already got a thought in his head.
Yeah. Personally, it's between two. It's either the stage where you're not allowed to weak hit, because this basically just means this is in practice. This is basically going to mean you need a full void team in each faction. So that's great if you're doing a void only challenge account. But the other one I'm afraid of is 21, where it says clear the stage in 200 turns. So we know that for stage 21 we need 300 speed, 500 accuracy. However, what I'm afraid of is that they're going to be Galatiers and Marishkas or something in the
Ooh.
wave.
He's going
And-
off mythicals.
So, yeah, because it's hard faction war, so I would not be surprised to see a mythical in each faction on stage 21. So my fear is that if you have something like a Galatier and a Marishka in a wave and you're on a timer, and then the boss is incredibly tanky, your first response is going to be like, okay, I'm going to use a burner, right? Because I need to kill the boss. And Burns do an amazing job at that. And then in the waves, leading up to the boss, if you have a Marishka and a Galator or something, good luck. And I wouldn't put it beyond them to do something like this. So yeah, like if we have to go by the list of challenges, it's the one where you're not allowed to weak hit. But if I have to go by with how Plarium probably thinks, it's probably going to be stage 21. I think this is going to be a very big challenge for a lot of accounts.
Okay. So I'm looking at chat here, and Rosaria said that there is going to be one where there is going to be some with mythicals, because I guess Nubs showed it on a video. So that's interesting. Zero, what about you? What do you think is going to be the biggest issue for you?
Yeah, I think stage 21 is going to be the hardest, hands down, for most everybody, especially if it's the boss that can swap life. I think that's going to be really tough. The weak one, I don't know. Again, I don't know if we've gotten there yet, or anybody's gotten there yet. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as everybody's thinking it's going to be, because you can, if you have one or two voids, that's fine. But I think they do a good job of putting multiple affinities in those fights, right? So you might have a magic spirit and a red, and so I think you can maybe target manually. You'd have to target, hey, my red champion is going to have to only target the blue champion type thing, and then let the void champion hit the one that you're going to be weak against. If that makes sense. So that might be a way around that one. It might be a huge pain in the butt, but again, you just have to do it the one time, right? So. But yeah, I think stage 21 is going to be the toughest, right? Because you got to get through the waves, and then that might lead you like 75 turns or so against, the boss. And then it's like, okay, if it's a health swap, now you have to kill it potentially twice. Like that could get stupid hard to do. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. I'm reading chat here, and we got a comment that says, keep all your champions above 75% HP. I think unless this is coded where at the end of the run, all my champions are above 75% HP, because if it hurts me for them taking a hit because their Ruella or whoever is nuking like a son of a gun, and it just like drops me down to 50% with an A1, I'm a little concerned that maybe this actually might just be through the whole run. Like you can't drop below 75%, because that could be a problem. Because if it's just by the end of the run, that's different. But that means you have to have a lot of control in this run to try to get it done, right? PJ, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking through them right now. Some of the ones you guys mentioned already are definitely gonna be tough. The ones I'm seeing so far kind of is obviously very champion dependent, but I was looking at like Demon Spawn, and I think Undead has place block revives. So if you don't have like the few Legos that don't have block revive, then you're gonna be kind of screwed. And there's no like set to help you with block revive. So that one could be tough. There was another one where it said don't let your enemies heal, I think, which could be interesting. That could be kind of annoying because some people have heals off like the A1, so even like a provoking you might have to have all of them stunned or something like that. So I could see those being maybe kind of frustrating. So definitely depending on your champion pool. If you don't have block revive, then you're literally screwed.
Okay. I was just looking at the faction for counterattacks and ally attacks for high elves, and the pool is very, very limited in that, right? One of the things we always say is we could use this champion down the line, and a lot of people say, well, I don't see myself using this champion down the line. I'm not going to do a fusion. But here we've got, two champs. You got Strategos Islin, which was almost 2 years ago, and Skaramis. So if you have a Skaramis, you're probably able to get that one done. But then if you're looking for, sorry guys, If you're looking for just ally attacks, I think the only options there are going to be Lenotharl, right?
Yep.
Because that's going to be just a huge pain in the ass. They couldn't have put it on like, wow. Imagine if they had put it with this one, with the Bannerlords. You could only have Marichka that counter that ally attacks. But yeah, that does seem very challenging, right? So the high elves, like I said, you got Lenotharl and you got High Keeper Prisma. So, man, I do feel like some of the higher end ones might actually be a lot more challenging. Because I pretty much had the feeling like, oh, you know, everything seems... I was going to put out a video that says, this is easy, what the hell? But I learned my mistake from Centranos, where I jumped the gun too early, and I said, yeah, this is absolute too easy, make it more challenging, and then by the end of it, granted, you know, I've still cleared every stage, but Gestal, what about you, man? What do you think is going to be the most challenging one?
I haven't done all of them. Just looking at it, I feel like 21's going to be the toughest. The speeds are going to be really high. You're going to have to bring the damage. And depending on what it is, like what is it for high elves? Because I feel like high elves is like kind of the worst faction, really.
Every one of them is clear under 200 turns.
200 turns, okay. Oh, they're all 200 turns, really?
So every boss is 100, 150, and 200.
Oh, okay.
So at least that was the same. Everything else, you know, they said that we're catering them to each faction specific, but I mean, let's be honest here. If you don't have back to Bick's favorite faction, which is the dwarves, if you don't have any sort of turn meter manipulation, I mean, the only one you really have here is G-Nut, right, on the A1. So imagine if you, how many did you have to do? I think, was it like 30 or 40 turn meter manipulations on
40.
40. So imagine, and I had triple G-Nuts, so I was just A1ing the whole freaking time. I don't know if there's any other champions that would do turn meter manipulation. Which one?
Geo has it as A3.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Void Rare that has a turn meter fill in the faction. He's the only one for all the allies.
I thought it was turn meter manipulation on the opponents.
No, you can also turn meter. You can
turn
also
meter
do turn
yourself.
meter fill. Yeah.
Okay, so see, that wasn't clear, and I thought it was just turn meter manipulation on myself. So I'm sitting there with the G1, with the G-Nut A1, all three. I was just like, what the hell? This
to
is
that
taking
point,
forever.
too, healing overheals count. Some people were thinking that, or didn't know that, so they were like trying to take damage. Yeah, luckily, seriously, it'd been possible.
So I guess, you know, one thing I will have to say is we got to get a little more clarification on some of these, like, you know, turn meter manipulation just on the opponent or on us, or both work. So I do hope that we get a little more clarity in them. That's it, Gestal. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
I'm good there. I think some of the other ones people are bringing up now, like I said, I haven't really gone through all the lists. I'm kind of just trying to hit them as they come and figure it out. But it's I feel like 21's probably gonna be the hardest. Like those other ones, you can normally, you know, find this little something that'll make it work. But 21, you're gonna have to have the speed, the damage. I think it's gonna be tough.
Another thing for 21 is that if you're using mythicals and you transform, that's one turn you lost.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Hey, Bob right here, Ogrerzilla in chat, is giving us a huge tip, which is Evil Eye in your masteries will count for that. So if you have a champion that has an AoE A1, if you put some accuracy on them, there you go. That actually helps out too. So if you don't have a Molly or a G-Nut, right? Jay, I know you're sitting there lonesome by yourself. What you got?
Sitting with you. What do you mean?
I know. I'm picking on him. I gotta ask, can you feel my breath on you right now?
I'm used to it.
Just your shoulder up. Just your shoulder up.
You feel something else as well?
Yeah. No, but
Keep it PG
in general,
for
there's gonna be a lot of them. I think they're gonna be super hard, like the week hitting and stuff like that. But 21 is gonna be the craziest for someone who's done hundreds of accounts, help people out. People always have trouble trying to get Lydia right, stage 21, and sometimes it could be damage threshold, sometimes it could be speed because they don't follow the law of 200 or 300, right? They don't even try to do that. They try to put like champions 150 and relentless is like cool. I'm getting extra turns. I'm like, but you're not taking us enough speed to take the turn. So little things like that. I think each account's gonna vary, but 21 definitely. The bosses have new mechanics, new things. Of course, there might even be mythicals. It's gonna be bananas. I think it's gonna be a huge freaking headache. At least with the weak hit, like Zero Bruce said, you can choose. Live Arena's taught us kind of like a little bit more how to single target, like manage where your attacks are going and things like that. But man, that 21 is probably going to be. Hopefully, they don't throw Valkyries everywhere again because that's just a headache. So hopefully, it's not too toxic. But from all these champions getting buffed, maybe Plarium was kind of trying to slow it down because they didn't want to make hard faction wars even crazier. So
Fair point.
Well, I don't know about that because why would you put a Commodus then at stage 21 when the speeds are 300 and we should know that a lot of us aren't going to be able to put every single champion at 300 and we're going to put them in Stone Skin to at least survive that initial hit and then Commodus just wipes us out, right?
I think you're gonna miss those Valkyries you just mentioned.
Yeah, right. Bring the Valkyries back. I'll take those. Let's switch it up a little bit and let's talk about one.
You missed me.
Oh,
Can
sorry.
I just go ahead?
Go ahead, Ken. My bad. Usually I
So,
start with
I
you
have
first.
No, I didn't. I have a couple of them actually. I'm not worried about the boss, to be honest, that much because I feel like we were more annoying than the boss. For example, defeat all enemies when they have no buff on them. Like that's going to be
easy.
tough. Like none of them. Hard
That's
CC,
easy.
but like if there is a mythical, which is I don't think Plarium is that stupid. Like if there is a nice, how we are going to manage to do that? You need to block active, right? Block active and the passive skin maybe. And there is a one more. Let me try to find it. Give me 1 second.
You could probably lock them all out.
You just bring
Yeah,
the
but
card.
not every
You
faction
just
have
got
them
buffed.
too. Yeah. And the defeat 3+ enemies while your champion under 7 or more buff. 7 buff is a lot. Yeah, 7 buff is a lot. Depends on the faction too. It's like if there is like Sifi, like that just depends on the faction. And there is a one more, and it's a defeat 3+ enemies while they are under 10 debuff. 10 debuff.
Yeah,
Maximum limit literally. Like you need to let every possible debuff on them.
So I don't know if that's again, and I feel like this is
No,
the
I think you
problem
can stack that with toxic sets. I think.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing.
Yeah, but they are going to get a turn too. When they get a turn, they are going to lose their debuff.
Well,
You need to stick the poison
here's
somehow.
my thing. I want more clarification from Plarium on
10
these
total
because
or 10 on each
I
one?
think that's the
10 for each, I think.
Well, that's the question: is it under each one or is it in total? Because that's where the clarification needs to happen, right?
Oh yeah, that's
big
a huge difference,
difference.
by the way.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. So
For
But
the-
it is like you guys thinking. Otherwise, there's going to be pain, man.
yeah,
For the sets, you're basically just gonna bring bolster, pinpoint, stone skin, shield sets, and stuff like that as well to help
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I do want to see, and I guess maybe we'll throw some questions into CC chat on some of these, because you do bring a fair point on these. Like, is it 10 debuffs on the whole on every single champion? Because I mean, Organ tribes, do we have enough champions to put 10 different debuffs on them, and can we keep them alive long enough to put 10 different debuffs on them? Right?
Ogre's gonna be tough, I think.
Ogren's gonna be very tough. That's why I'm.
Ogre is a
bringing up
Urogrim, which is cost 2 poison per enemy. But again, 10 debuff we talking, man.
Yeah,
Uragram and
less.
Bellow are in a stun set. Hope you get there.
Still, I think
Bellow
it's
already
one
put out a
That's
bunch.
one debuff.
I'm just worried about support in that faction. Staying alive at the higher stages can be tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's makes me almost want to kind of wail out on some voids, maybe get a Bellator. No, joking. That's
He wouldn't be good. He actually would be good there.
Probably the only time he will be good. The only time.
Fair.
But that said, I want to switch it up here a little bit. Oh, sorry, Zero. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that needs to be addressed. I know we always complain about them buffing champions and only do 2 at a time. But what's crazy is, I don't know about y'all, but I have had some issues like in Sin City and or Doom Tower where those crappy champs that were always crappy got a buff, and all of a sudden it's like, oof, this is a lot harder than it used to be. So that's a valid point. They knew this was coming, and maybe because we always complain, why don't I just buff like 100 champions? Well, that would have made this extremely hard if they had done something like that. So I was just going to say,
because if I have the same champion, I know I would probably build mine a little bit better.
Yeah, and then the other funny thing I was going to say, because I didn't know there was an ally attack thing on the high elves. I didn't really understand that. But new gear set. I know y'all are ready for a new gear set. A 15% chance of triggering an ally attack when procced. So be prepared, because most all these other things you can do with a gear set.
No, that's special. That's a counter attack, not an ally attack.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said ally attack. That would be broken. But
it's fine. I think I saw like 15 different CC videos in the last 2 weeks that everybody went all in on pulling a Fina. So clearly everybody has a Fina, and she brings the counter attack buff in that faction.
Of course.
No problem, guys.
I wish I was everybody.
Hey, let me just pull up my Fina. Oh wait, I don't have one.
Oh,
damn it! Damn it! So. I want to switch it up a little bit because we do have a lot of things that are annoying. And again, I think UI standpoint, I really would love to see inside the faction war, not when I pause it, how many trials I've completed. I mean, they did it in Chimera. They should do it in there. I think it would make it a lot easier. But I want to see what the positives for this was from you guys. For myself, I think the biggest positive is the relic material, right? Even though it's lower on the stages, I think we're only getting 2, right? So I haven't crafted a lot, but I think what this is going to enable us to do now is give us the food to be able to level up our relics a lot faster. So for myself, I think like that's probably the biggest and most positive thing. Now I know a lot of you are going to say the glyphs and all this. I don't see those as the biggest or best because it's going to provide such a huge power creep, so much more RNG, where I don't know how good it's gonna be, right? But that said, I want to start off with I'm going to start off with Ken this time. And what do you think is probably the biggest positive about Faction Wars hard mode?
Like, do I have to say something?
Okay.
Nothing he says.
How about we do this? How about you tell me what you like the most about it?
Yeah,
Damn,
I
not
want to
even
say I
glyphs.
know the challenge, but at the same time I hate it. Like, it's like hate and love relationship, you know? Like, if there is no silver cost, I guess I know the challenge, and I think I agree with you about the really crafted material because they are farmable. If I'm not mistaken, we can farm them on the stage 21, right? So when we finish the stuff. But I think I'm mostly happy about the 2 mythical book from the milestone reward. 2 mythical book. Thank you, Palario.
The 2 mythical books that you're gonna get out of here.
I cannot wait to get them.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're gonna get
2
one at 900, and the
We're
other one
never
is
gonna forget that 2 mythical
at
book.
756. Hey,
What about the silver, Ken?
I know, right? Come on, you're gonna get what?
I just got 100k
600
silver. Yeah, that was
650.
so good.
You could level up 1 piece of gear to 12.
It goes up to 1 million. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so you're gonna get a total of what? Let's say 3 million, 4 million silver in
You are
total.
seriously going to calculate that? Like, wasting your time?
Gestal, what about you? What is one of the positive things or one thing that you do like about the hard mode Faction Wars?
Oh, I mean, definitely the mythical champion at the end. Obviously, Don't have it yet, but I feel like it's gonna be very viable. I've been running a lot of like Gizmac Tormin into speed comps, and it's so devastatingly beautiful, man. So I think she would be like a nice third option in something like that. Yeah, so if they ban the Torment, you can still get some of the effects. So yeah, I think I would say I'm most excited about her. Yeah, the relics have been nice. I got the purple the purple one. I don't know. It's apparently pretty good. And then
The
I
Raven?
got it's like a hammer or something.
Okay.
Let me give me a sec. And then I got that poison one that people are using on Cavalex.
That one's
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
that's very good.
So
yeah.
like I've pulled some. I got it here. Hammer
Yeah.
of Ending. Wearer has 15% chance to place an unresistible stun debuff on a single target for 1 turn whenever they reduce a target's HP by 30% or more. It's kind of
Wow.
Have
cool.
you used it on anyone?
I haven't put it on anyone yet. I just got it.
Yeah,
So-
all I've gotten is the Codex of Luminous. And that one was not, I don't know. Be prepared for
know
another
what it
video
is.
with Pick about which ones we have and which ones we'll use. Okay.
Oh, you got a blow.
I pulled my 5th aspect of Seraph. I don't even know what I'm gonna
Let's
do
go,
with them
baby.
anymore.
I think I have
Let's
6.
go. You've got 6. I
That's
don't
all I
even know
pull as
what
aspects.
I don't know what I want to do with them. PJ, what about you, man? What is like the one thing that you're keyed on that is actually pretty good?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good and not so good. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy. I think you make a great point. The relics, being able to get more relics on a daily basis is gonna be huge, especially once we start farming the higher stages. I think the mythical is really good, and I personally like doing these kind of things, like leveling different champions up. I like Curse. I didn't mind Curse City. I will say I mean, I know it's supposed to be the good things. Are we gonna talk about like some of the downsides too, or no?
Oh, we will.
Okay, so yeah, I'll
Listen,
leave it for
We
that.
can make a whole
Yeah, true.
podcast just talking about all the shit things that they've
Yeah.
done. But you know, I want to also encourage them on some of the bad things. I want to
Yeah.
encourage them on some of the good things they do.
Okay, I have a
Because
few more
with
then.
new owners, you know, MTG just recently took over last week. I want them to get some good feedback so they continue in a better way as opposed to, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I guess the other thing, not really directly with the rewards, but I think they could have easily given us a hard mode faction area bonus and kind of screwed a lot of players, and I'm glad that they didn't and they left it at the normal faction wars, counting for hard mode and not. So I think that was a positive, good thing on them. And it's also like the cheapest one, so that's gonna be really good for like all areas of the player base. It's stage 1, so that's gonna be really good. So I'm glad they did that. I think that was a good move on their end.
I'm reading chat here. George Morgan says Plarium employees are just bots. Chat, what about you guys? What is the one good thing? Again, I know we can all home in on the negatives, but what is the one good thing about the hard mode faction wars that actually, makes you want to go after it? Whether it is just the legendary or the mythical champion at the end, whether it is the relics, the glyphs. Zero, what about you?
Yeah, I'd already had the thought about the relics and that we're getting at least a little bit of every time. And I was like, well, because they need something in the game because nobody is getting maxed out relics at all. So you're gonna have to have a way to have constant food, right? Like even in the game when it comes to like leveling champions, right? You are getting green shards daily, and theoretically you can summon those crappy champions, and run them and level them up, and you can get them all the way up to 5-star. So I think the ability to get a bunch of blue, whatever relics and level them up won't be too terribly bad. I will say that arachnid thing, though. I know y'all pulled it up earlier. I don't know if y'all have been seeing what that crap can do, but I'm excited. Get me that on a Cavalax and let's just win the game.
Okay.
Have you seen that yet, Blazin?
I have not. I've seen some screenshots that Salsa sent me, and he's like, "Bro, Calvilax."
Poison ticks, yeah. Cavalax are like 10,000 attack. I only have a 3-star on him. If you had like a 5 or 6-star lethal dose on him, and you throw that thing on him, we're talking 35,000 a tick of poison. And you can put out, 4 poisons out the rip, so you're looking like 150,000 damage before they even take a turn.
Yeah, I got 2 5-stars. So
Oh, there you go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, so put one in lethal dose, and you're gonna smoke everybody with that arachnid thing on. You just got to take it up to like 10,000 attack. Huh?
I said Biohack has a really good video talking about it.
Yeah, but even Cruisin did one, and he did it with Nell. Oh my God, Nell is like the most powerful champion in the game now, and everybody's talking about, hey, buff Nell, buff Nell. No, because she's got all the turn meter, and she can activate the poisons, and anytime they buff, it puts poisons out. And it goes through block debuffs. It goes through block debuffs. So if there's a Siphi on the team and they buff, they all get poisons and then they die. It's just ridiculous.
She's better than Tormund for anti-speed teams, man. Nell is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Nell has become my most wanted. Fuck your Galathier.
Yeah. I got a 6-star waiting for her, man. I would love to get Nell.
Same, bro. Been a
I'd
while.
love to get her. She's so good.
I'm worried that they're going to actually nerf this, because I think it's the only thing that can possibly save it is you get the poisons out and then the stone skin will cleanse it. But yeah, I'm worried that they're gonna nerf it.
It only works
it's
in
too
speed comps. It only works in the speed comp. It's like a Tormund. It's basically a Tormund.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, or Hedgie, same thing. Yeah.
But yeah, Nell has climbed up to the most wanted of all mythicals. I don't care about any other one. You could give me a Commodus or a Nell, and I'm going to pick the Nell 100 times over a Commodus or any other mythical.
Still want
I don't
Galathier,
care.
bro. Give me a Galathier.
No, I don't. Bro, what's your Galathier going to do against a Nell? Go ahead.
If I know you're running Nell, man, I don't go speed team easy.
Well, I can use that Galathier.
I might lose once
Chimera.
or whatever, but then I know you got a Nell.
But Bick, what about you, man? What's the one good thing about hard mode faction wars that excites you or that you're liking? I know.
So back when we made our artifact videos and during a previous podcast, I already said that Plarium will add additional methods of adding of obtaining these artifacts to use as chickens. So they clearly did that. Like, you will be able to get daily artifact materials, which is first of all great. But I'm actually going to go into a totally different direction from what you guys mentioned. In a perfect world where game developers develop games, and you have a hero collector like one of these, champions bring pieces to a puzzle. And a lot of the champions that we had no use. A lot of epics were very, very bad. And you also brought, like, earlier on the podcast, you mentioned Islin and Skirmis from 2 years ago, and how they finally have a role in the game. This is how it should be, I feel, right? Like these new additional game modes, they, instead of like buffing champions over and over, and then we end up with like a lot of broken stuff, I really hope that they continue adding new game modes that already make use of champions that already exist and champions that are not popular. And I think they kind of did a good job here, because Zero Brew, for example, mentioned the undead. You have like this guy who brings an AoE sleep. Like, you don't need the Siphi if you don't have it. But I think it's also good for Plarium to understand that, the game needs to be like, eventually these puzzle pieces that these champions are, they need to be more interesting than, hey, bring a toxic set, bring a stun set, and put it on an AoE champion. But I think this is like, from a design perspective, that's a step in a good direction that they did here.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with you on that, but I think, like, I would love it so that the champion is not just a build one use one time and get it done. I would want to see that champion used in multiple areas of the game, right? Like I think Cintranos, I probably have invested the most resources into taking and clearing all the Cintranos every month. And I don't regret it because I'm using those champions time after time after time in that content in various stages, right? Now you'll say, okay, well, you've used a lot of those in here, but my one example again is a Prundar. When the hell am I going to use a Prundar in Cintranos? Because if I had, I'd probably already level them and wouldn't be really concerned about it. So I echo what you say and I agree. I would just love to see, like, maybe as we hit stage 21, if we complete one of the lower tasks, right, by putting maybe 20 provokes out or something, we get a little bit of a boost towards our reward or something. I think that would be actually really good, adding on to that, right? Because then it would say, okay, well, I built my Prundar, I'm going to keep him, and I'm going to keep him built and just not strip everything down the line off of him, right?
But maybe like down the line, we will have like a third game mode where you will also be needing these champions.
I think it's going to be hard mode. You know,
hard mode, nightmare mode,
hard mode for hard mode. I think that's what J-Gig said. That is their next content.
That's
I don't
fun.
know if you guys didn't watch the video, you need to go watch it.
It's so good. Go watch it.
Harder
So
mode.
good. I was laughing so hard.
It was like hard mode for hard mode. That's the next content that we have going on.
I can definitely see them like making like some faction wars type of thing, combining it with Siege, right? Because everything is already in the code, and then basically you have to navigate something that's like a mix mash of Cursed City with faction wars with your entire clan.
That
basically,
would
you would have to.
Pretty good idea.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, having Siege where you had like these faction specific whatever champions, and yeah, you could use them in those areas or like set them up as defenses or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Because they basically already have all the code lying around. It would just be basically like spend a month copy pasting and moving the code around and make some new icons for it, and then decide on how crappy you want to make the rewards, and that's it.
Well, we all know that it's just one intern in there that does all the coding, so you know,
that's true.
He's a little busy working on something else than that.
Free to play coder.
Working on minimum salary.
All right, Jay's a little sweaty here with my breath, you know, just on his back and stuff. So, what do you got to say, Jay? What's the one good thing about hard mode faction wars?
Well, I actually have two good things and one bad thing. I like the fact that it's new content, right? We get to actually test out different things. Curse City allowed us to try out different champions that we normally didn't have, or some things that I used for the secret rooms. I was like, all right, cool. I built out this one lizard for like Lizardman secret room, only epics, right? Wow, I get to finally use this champion in Curse City again, right? So like I was like, okay, cool. They're getting more value because we're basically like managers that manage these, champions and make them use and have roles. So when you have champions that can be multi-used, it feels really good, right? Most nukers and supports, you can use them in PvE and PvP. But sometimes some champs like quotations Prundar, right? A lot of people didn't build on him. I built Prundar way back in Hard Doom Tower. So when I got to Curse City, I was using him. I got here, full auto. He just provoked everyone. So I guess I was lucky ahead of the game. But in terms of just in general, the first good thing I would say is they didn't make it too crazy. I thought they were going to make like ridiculous, like really hard. So it's not that hard. It's annoying because there's some placements of.
I'm gonna warn you. Don't, from experience, brother. Don't say it was too easy. It's just the starting. I did the same thing with Cobble Market. Don't do it.
Well, no, I was going to say it's too easy. I was just saying is, of course, it's going to get harder, right? Even Faction Wars, originally when it launched, way back, because I'm an OG, right? We only had 2 people in the world beat Faction Wars. They had to nerf Faction Wars just so we could actually get to that point where everyone can finally get there. And then the Lydia, the whole Draco Gate, we experienced that. But they might do that. If we're getting stuck on like 17, 18, 19, and everyone's complaining, clearly they might even do like a soft nerf, right? But in general, it feels not that hard, right? It overall so far. So I like that they didn't make it like stage 2 is like, oh, this is impossible, right? That would have been really ridiculously hard. So I think that's one good thing. 2, I do like the fact that they give us relics. For someone like me, I have a lot of rare and epic relics. I only have 2 legendary relics, no mythical at all. So being able to finally get materials like that, I really like that. That's going to be good in long term. The one thing I do not like, because we didn't need in the game, is the glyph. Like, it looks so weird, man. When you have tons of 5, 6-star glyphs, I think we talked about this, but it's like, man, you just devalued all my stuff that I've saved. They look like uncommon trash, and it's like I want to sell it, I can't sell it, so it just hurts my eyes a little bit. But at the same time, that's just a gripe. But the main thing that I'm scared about is just the power creep of the glyphs. Like, we wanted, right? 6-star glyph was super annoying. I've done it on a stream where I used like 4, and they all +3, and I'm like, what is this, scam, right? But it would have been better if they just upped it up a little bit, not just like, oh, well, now there's this insane glyph that's just better than a freaking 6-star glyph. Like, it's just too much. And people don't realize, as your boosters or fast characters get quicker, you have to catch up your nukers to that. That's gonna... Relics just came in. Then we just got people are getting more blessings, right? Because we're getting more 2x's and stuff. It's gonna get things really, really fast, like ridiculously. I'm talking about 500s, 350 nukers, maybe even potentially 400 speed nukers on Krakens, right? And that's just ridiculous. Why is my nuker going as fast as my fast champion right now? Like, that's just too much, bro. Too much. We need to slow it down. You know, say like not to, I understand it might be to get people going and we need stuff, but like, you didn't have to do that. You could have released maybe just rares, and then over time we got epic glyphs and then legendary glyphs. Like, all at once was just crazy. That was just they just like, here you go, we got other stuff to do with, because they have other games they work and play. I think that's what happened. But overall, Hard Faction Wars, I'm pretty happy about it, and I think it's the main thing that I'm really happy is that it's content where we can work together to figure stuff out, right? And that's the main part of our raid, right? As a community, we come together, we figure things out, we break the game in a way, we figure things out. They have to bug, right? They nerf it, blah blah blah. That's the point. And I think Hard Faction Wars is really cool, where we get to actually use commons to beat content, and that's crazy, because you could barely do that in Curse City with DK. So I do like that about Faction Wars.
So
I'm just gonna
can I say something?
Can I say something first?
It's fun fact: you can actually sell glyphs. I didn't know you could sell glyphs, but you can actually go in and sell glyphs. It's terrible silver, but you can actually sell glyphs.
Yes.
Where?
I saw.
Yeah, it's just like gear. Go to your gear.
It's the third tab on the right.
Yeah, and click the glyph thing, and then you can actually hit the sell button, and then you can actually sell. I didn't know this, and someone in chat said it about 6 months ago, and I was like, "Are you serious? I didn't know that was a thing."
Yeah, but
it's crappy silver, but you can technically sell it.
You keep the lower end ones though for the quest, because that quest is really shitty that you get to use 3 glyphs.
Sorry, Bick, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. And what I want to say is that there was a content creator whose name I forgot, because I don't really watch them that often. But they made a video about defeating Amius Heart with a bunch of rares. So apparently rares are nowadays good enough for Curse City Heart as well. So why not for Faction Wars Heart? It's basically just a matter of having good enough gear, high enough blessings, and
area bonus,
and the proper relics.
Okay. Actually, so Airfern here brings out a really solid point on hard mode. We're actually going to start getting less of the glyphs, because we're running less amount, right? So we're running 3 of hard mode instead of the 4 of normal. So we are going to get less, but we are going to get higher tiers. So, and to your thing, Jay, we've got players that are already pushing, I think it's 550 speed. With this, I hate to even think, what is it, 12? So they're going to get 4 speed on, what, 5, 6, 7 pieces, so 21. So there'll be like 570 plus God knows what else Plarium's going to give us in the next couple of months. So we'll be looking at 600 speed. And it's funny because why do I not have my Allahs locked? Holy crap, that was scary. But the scary part is, or the crazy part is when we all started playing this game, trying to get 300 speed was our goal on our turn meter boosters. Now our goal is trying to get 300 speed on our nukers, which is crazy. Except for Beck, which is, he's still trying to get 300 speed on his arbiter. Do you have something else you wanted to say, Jay?
The value of the I just tried to test it out, and I'm not gonna sell it. the value is worse than gear. What the fuck? That's just
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That said, we could spend hours and hours and hours talking about this. We will touch up on it a little bit more next week, where we've got a little more feel towards some of the bosses, some of the other stuff going on. Maybe we'll be able to progress a little more and see were we right or wrong on some of these sorry, on some of these challenges that we have for hard mode Fire Night. But Gestal, where can people come and find you, bro?
Gestal Gaming on Twitch and on the YouTubes. Dark Fae is open. You should be able to hit in Dark Fae, so don't miss out your Dark Fae hits.
100%. PJ, what about you?
MXPJE on Twitch and YouTube. I stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible, and try to get 5 videos out on the YouTubes. Come check it out.
Awesome. Chat, do I buy this? Yes or no? Let me know before the podcast is over. Ken, what about you?
No,
don't buy.
don't
FinalKenpachi, both YouTube and the Twitch, streaming every single day, guys, at this start of the clan boss reset. So, thank you.
All right. Zero, what about you?
Yep, come hang out with me Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Central Time on the Twitches and now YouTubes, as I did my inaugural dual stream on Friday. I learned a lot of lessons about music and what can and can't be played.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little interesting. Yeah, maybe one of you
I
guys
actually
can give me
turn the music off when I go on YouTube.
You go on YouTube, yeah. I did. I will talk after this, but and then speaking of YouTubes, come find me on YouTube's because we out
Awesome.
there.
Hey guys, don't forget, Regen Rotos can mess you up in Arena pretty hard. Bick, what about you?
You can find me on Twitch TV. Bick, that's basically it. In my defense, Blazing, because you've had some punches at me for my extremely slow account, I did finish the entire live arena season in 6 days at roughly a 70% win rate. So you don't need speed to be successful.
How much gems did that cost you?
Didn't keep track, but yeah,
a lot.
Like 30-20, a little bit below 70% at that end of it win rate. So it wasn't actually too bad.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't need speed to be successful in this game in PvP apparently.
Okay. Well, you also don't need a light either when you're on the podcast, so people can't see your face. Everybody in chat is like,
slowly getting darker.
He's buffing again. Oh, that's funny.
He's about to turn out and become a vampire. Jay, what about you? Where can everybody come and find you, bro?
Everyone can find me on twitch.tv and YouTube with one name, JRStar3.
Awesome. Ken, what you got for a shout out for me, brother?
I like the shout out the Cursed. The Cursed is also the streaming Raid Shadow Legends, guys. Did I took yours?
Yes.
So you guys can find them over there. I'm going to leave the link. Make sure to follow.
Awesome. Gestal, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Let's shout out King Copium. He was here the last couple of weeks doing a great job on the podcast. He does an awesome job on his stream as well. He's got a big old beard, so that's enough reason to go follow him.
Agreed. Zero, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna do good old Grim Reaper TV Raid. Let's see, did I do it right? Yeah, Grim Reaper TV Raid. He's actually streaming now today, right now. Maybe we can raid out to him. But it's your call, Blazing. Great streamer. Give him a check out.
We're gonna raid somebody else.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
he's currently watching us. PJ, what about you?
I am gonna give a shout out to Seta. He's an awesome dude. Does a little bit of the YouTube and the Twitches. He's been starting to stream a little bit more recently, which is awesome to see. Post his link in the chat, and then also shout out to DeCurse when I was gonna give him a shout out, but can't tuck it. Awesome dude. But everyone, all you guys, all had amazing shout outs. So go follow all of them.
Awesome. Bick, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Well, you guys took everyone. You took my clanmates.
Can
You
we,
took
can we
Seta.
shout out a light?
Yeah, we tell us
you-
the same.
More
Or
content
turn one
creators
on.
in this-
Darker as it goes. Like, literally, you can see a piece of his forehead and a cheek.
With you. All I see
mean,
is your
yeah.
teeth.
Who am I going to shout at, guys? Let me turn on the lights. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
wait. Hey, there we go. Is there anyone in chat? You know what? I'm just gonna shout out all of you guys. You're freaking awesome for doing this almost every week.
I like how
think
you add
it's
that bonus
my-
part.
I think it's my favorite raid content. And yeah, you guys
Awesome.
are just awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you. You're awesome too, man. Come on, you come on here all the time. And then Mr. J, what you got for a shout out for me?
I'm gonna shout out two people. I'll shout out one to Cross Out. He's been doing a lot of work getting new people into the clan and actually making sure people do their things because clanmates will go back and forth. And the second will be King Copium, man. Thank you so much for all the support and helping out the community as well. Thank you.
Let's go. I'm gonna shout out somebody from our community, George Morgan, who's on the YouTube side. He pulled almost 1,000 voids, and this was his reward, going
Jesus
for
Christ.
a 15x C fee. So, guys, what this tells you is 15x and 25x are not
Scam.
real.
I was
that's
1,000
fine.
voids for that.
Yeah.
1,000? Yeah, that's insane.
It was like he pulled like 600 something, and this is what he pulled, and then he pulled a couple of hundred more and was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done."
Okay.
I
That's
saw
That's rough.
yeah.
I
That
saw
makes me-
Nicholas pull shards for 3 different accounts, and he pulled a Yumiko for each account.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, so guys, we will be back next week. We're gonna have a lot of things to talk about then. I'm sure Plarium is gonna do something newsworthy between now and then. That's just gonna get the community riled up. YouTube side, let us know in the comments below what you guys think that'll be if you're still watching. And we are going to raid out to King Copium
There it is.
because he is,
You've
and he's
rated
been
out
Yeah, I think you're rated.
oh. Okay.
Yeah,
then
got
there
it
we
right.
go.
a while ago.
All right.